Code Keepers. We're here with the beautiful Camille Baker, author of The Moment We Met, and some more stuff. Hey, let's start off with talking about something very important. You know, the importance of connecting with loved ones who've passed on. Why is that so important to you?
So that's important to me because I lost my mom when I was 10 years old. So that was the first big loss I experienced in my life. She was my best friend. She was everything to me. And losing her really made me feel like almost untethered to the world. Like I was 10 years old, I was crying sporadically. It was just not a good time. But the more that I was able to tap into that connection that I had with my mom, like within myself, the more at peace I got with it, and the more I could appreciate the relationship we had, her in the afterlife side, and then me here on earth struggling, but feeling like there's someone like guiding me and there for me and supporting me, even though they're not here with me physically. And so I loved playing with like that idea in my book and making that connection a little bit more tangible, because I'm sure people who have like lost someone close to them, you've connected with them in different ways. Like maybe you see like a symbol that meant something to you randomly and it really resonates with you because it's a moment that you're struggling or something like that. Or maybe you have a dream, which I have very rarely. So whenever I dream about like a love passed on, I try like write a note about it so I can like remember it, because that happens so rarely for me. And so countless many other ways too.
Wow. So Code Keepers, we're hanging out and learning from Camille Baker, once again, the author of The Moment We Met. And we just talked about, dealing with the ancestry. I love that. But, the Get On Code Show is all about empowerment. So, this isn't the only book she has, Code Keeper. So you really want to check out her, in music we call it discography. You might want to check out her library and find out all the other great books that she has. But, in becoming a published author, there's had to be some tangible empowerment changes that have happened in your life. So, what are some of the tangible changes that have happened since releasing this, this library of great authorship?
Yeah, so releasing like my first book a year ago and then this one just yesterday, it's definitely made me more aware of like people's perceptions of me, because a book is very personal. Like it's fiction, but there's pieces of yourself in everything I write, at least. And so you're sharing this with strangers, with even people you know, which sometimes can be scarier than sharing it with strangers. And being like perceived is a feeling. So I, with like becoming published, have really learned to talk to myself more and question myself and really get to know myself. And I think it makes my writing stronger because I have characters that do the same, and it helps me be more at peace with that perception coming in from absolute strangers and also from your loved ones.
Intriguing. That's very intriguing. Grief is the thread that sews you back together again, or sews you back together. It changes you, but it also makes it possible for you to laugh again. This statement just really kind of resonated with me. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it like, whoa, it's a good quote, Camille. But yeah, and I still agree with it, because sometimes like past quotes that I've written, I'll read and be like, I'm not sure I agree with it still. But this one, I still agree with it, because for me, like that grief process, like losing someone, it does feel like you're kind of broken. Your emotions are broken and just spilling out of you. But that grief process of doing what you need to heal, maybe talking with people, maybe spending some time alone, like that's the grieving process. And really it continues forever. It happens in various ways, various forms. And so yeah, that's putting you back together again so you can move forward. And you are different than you were before losing someone that meant that much to you. But that grief and that connection with them that you still have helps you move forward. And I'm definitely a type of person that deals with sad things and upsetting things with laughter.
So, hey, Code Keepers, you can go on to Amazon and pick up Have We Met and the current book, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And The Moment We Met.
And The Moment We Met. Both of them. Have We Met and The Moment We Met. And, you know, both on your website. And, OSU? That's what's up. OHIO. Yes, so I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, and almost went to OSU. Had planned to go to OSU, but my parents had other plans for me. They wanted me to get away from my high school girlfriend, so.
Makes sense, but I feel like people who grew up in Columbus are like Buckeyes by being in that city.
Absolutely. You know what? I want to ask, what's been the most challenging hill you've had to climb to become a published author? I think that sharing this part of your story is going to inspire many others to reach the greatness and the heights that you've reached. So tell us about that.
So definitely my biggest challenge is the revising process. There are so many books I wrote over 10 years. It was like a decade-long process of me finally getting a book published. So in that decade, there were so many books that I started, and I would finish a first draft for most of them. Some of them got a half of a first draft, but for most of them, I would finish fine. But then when you read it, you realize what you have on page is not your vision. It's not, great yet. So that can be like disheartening, and it can be frustrating trying how to fix a book when the answers aren't clear. And so you really have to work on it. And so that was definitely a challenge for me, figuring out how I best revise, figuring out how to listen to my writerly instincts and trust my gut while also trying to discover more about the characters. But yeah, once I learned how to revise and trusted the instincts I have just from being a reader and a watcher of movies and consuming so many stories, you have that compass inside of you of telling you what's wrong in a story. It's just up to you to figure out how to fix it, which is the hard part. But of course, you can get some help from outside sources. You can get early readers and critique partners, which helps me a lot. But I'm definitely the type of person that keeps the story close to my chest until I feel like it's in a shape enough to share. So I think that slowed me down a bit because it takes me a few drafts before I'm ready to share anything.
Yeah, I've heard that great work isn't written, it's rewritten. Okay. Hey, my last question, I know I don't have a lot of time with you, but, what is one thing that needs to change in the world that you're uber passionate about? I can't wait to hear this answer.
So one thing that needs to change in the world is people listening to people and their experiences and their stories, because I feel like the problems that are happening in this world are because people think they are the authority of everyone's experience, and that's not the case. And so I feel like if people listen and believe people and their experiences, it would be just a much better and accepting world, and it would make me less angry inside. So yeah, that's something I'm very passionate about. And in my books, I write super diverse worlds that show a whole range of characters and a whole range of lived experiences, because that's what I like to see. That's the world that I live in. And I just want to expose people to all the differences that we have and celebrate them. Yes, if you want to contact me or be in touch, you can check out my website, CamilleBaker.com. There's a contact form, and I do read messages. And you can also connect with me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter the most, and also Goodreads if you care about what I'm reading and loving.
Ashe. And once again, you can pick up her earlier book, and you can pick up her newest book, and that upcoming book. I'm sure there's an upcoming book on Amazon or wherever you get good books, maybe your melanated bookstore. Do that. Code Keepers, stay on code. You know what we say. Get on code, share the code, teach the code, become the code. Our code is empowerment, knowledge. We love you. Camille, keep doing what you're doing, Queen. We support you, all right? Take care.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.